Hey everyone! Draco Magnius here for another episode of Let's Blindly Stream Angels with Scaly Wings. In the last episode, we got Bryce's good ending. In this episode, we're going to chase after Remy's ending. I've done some research, and now I know how to get Remy's ending, and it's going to be a pain in the ass. Also, I think there's technically like 5 endings if we include Remy's that I still got to get. There's Remy's ending, Lorem's good ending, Anna's good ending, the true ending, and then there's the extended true ending, but that requires that I get 60 fucking in-game achievements. And I don't know if we're going to get that one, but we're definitely going to shoot for the true ending. I will not promise the extended true ending. I'm sure it's very interesting, but I don't know if I can manage to get 60 of the different achievements in this game. Because, like, then I would have to do some bad things, like be lazy and do nothing, and get some of the bad endings, and I don't know if I want to do that. Anyway, let's get started, shall we? Oh, right. Because this is linked to Discord, that's just going to pop up now, huh? I should do something about that. In fact, I can do something about that. There we go. I awoke from uneasy dreams, looking at an unfamiliar ceiling. Just for a moment, I wondered where I was before the events of last night all came back to me. After a good stretch, I looked around the room and illuminated by the sunlight coming in from the window. Outside in the distance, the portal I had emerged from proudly stood on the peak of a small hill. Getting ready, I noticed something lying on the table. It was the note Remy had left for me, in case I needed anything, along with his own home phone and work number. There were also some numbers for delivery of food and other necessities, as well as emergency and even janitorial services. He had certainly thought of everything, even though I now had to wonder what a dragon plumber might look like. My musings were interrupted when the doorbell rang. I opened the door and was met by another dragon. Why, yes, I would like to skip. Thank you, system. Bryce led me back to the apartment. I guess there really wasn't much for me to do in the meantime, as I was spared the more arduous parts of the investigation. Maybe I should have been glad about this, though now I had an afternoon to fill. What should I do? Okay, so to get Remy's ending, one of the things we're going to need to do is we're going to need to get Adine to the second date at the very least. But I guess to start off, we'll go with Remy, and then we'll do Adine after that. We've already seen the first one, so I'm going to skip as soon as it gives me the opportunity to. Yes! Thank you, system. Let's speed run. Anyways, thank you for your help. If there's any way I can repay you, just let me know. How about you invite me to dinner sometime? That's fine with me. You've got my number, so call me about it when you have the time. If only I could word today. I will. Have a nice evening. Then again, I feel like I'm always fumbling over my words. I need to get my reading retention up. Can't even say that word right. Sometimes, everyone. You too. We parted amicably, or so I thought. Would I see him again? I wasn't sure, but I kept his number just in case. Alright, now to order some lunch, so we can get Adine's ball rolling. But you know, it's raining where I am right now, too. Interesting. Let's see. I thought we were over this, but at least you didn't reduce me to my species anymore. Likewise. What happened? You fall in the river. You're soaked. Why don't you come in? There it is. Come on, game. I gotta get to the new content. The new hotness. I could have read that ending like I did with Remy, but... Anyway, Chapter 2. Duty. Wasn't Chapter 1 also duty? Did nothing change? I feel like nothing changed. Oh well. Yes, please. It was a relief to leave the crime scene, considering all that had happened. But when I reached into my pocket to take a look at the list, I found something unexpected. It was a small piece of paper with the word Tatsu written on it. How did it get there? My earlier encounter with the masked person was the only time today someone was close enough to smuggle something into my pocket. I figured if someone like Bryce tried to do something like that, I definitely would have noticed. As for Tatsu, the only related thing I could think of was Tatsu Park, which I had come across when I went to the police station the other day. Even if that park was the place the mysterious paper referred to, I didn't know if it was actually a good idea to visit. The masked person may have saved me from the falling light fixture, but if it was Reza, it would mean following someone who's also the prime suspect of 2 murders. I also had to consider the list of places Reza had been to. The local grocery store, the production facility we had visited, and the library were 3 places closest to here. It certainly was going to be a busy day, and I knew I wouldn't have time to visit all of them. Okay, so, for Remy's ending, the next step. Okay, visit the library during the second investigation. So we gotta visit the library. But another thing we have to do is we need to see Vara, the little girl dragon, at the grocery store. We need to see her 3 times. Technically, we saw her the first time in an off-screen moment, I believe. So the 2 places we have to go to, the library and the grocery store. And in fact, just so I don't screw myself over here, I'm gonna do a quick save. Just to be safe. I haven't used this function at all, but just in case I fuck anything up. Because I might. I know myself. Alright, Reza, what did you want here? Hey, it's Remy! Ah, and now here's the Remy and Adine scene. I don't know if the microphone picked that up, but excuse me if it did. Anyway. Okay, is it gonna allow me to skip this scene? Has Reza been here recently? Actually, what did Adine want? I'm gonna go through all the dialogue trees even though we've technically seen them, I'm pretty sure. But I kind of want to make sure I don't miss anything. I might need to actually talk with him all the way through. Anyway, Reza. That's it. Okay. Next on the list, grocery store. Grocery store. Here's the shopkeep. I think we got his name, but honestly, I don't remember it. I know it was in the last playthrough, but that was a while ago. Yep, here's Vara. I don't think we technically got her name, but I did get that from the walkthrough, so mild spoiler for myself. But I think he also says her name at one point. that. Okay, yeah, he does tell us, so we already know. Do you remember Reza coming here? I don't think I need to just look around the grocery store, so we're just gonna leave. Alright. So, let's speed through. I will leave, because that's all I could do. The afternoon sun hung low in the sky, and I decided it was time to report my findings to the police. A brief call to the department, and I was on my way to an appointment with Sebastian. Skip. And we'll try and get to step 2. Alright, so here's the information. Gotta keep moving through. I don't know if we'll get 2 endings in this episode or not, but we'll see if I can manage it. That's the goal anyway. If we speed through everything, I should in theory be able to, but we also have to consider how long the ending with Remy's gonna be. Now that we have our choice, let's do another... I can't do another quick save. Fine, then I'll do a basic save. What's the point of having a quick save button if you can't use it all the time? Like, why even bother? Anyway, I'm thinking Adine first. And then we'll do Remy. Does this count as a second date? Or is it the one after this that counts as the second date? No, I think this one counts as date 2. Skip. Well, if I ever screw myself out at the end, I'll know I fucked up. Okay, so she wants the map. The police might have it. I can try. Alright, there we go. Just gotta... I know I could read through this, but we've already been through this before. We gotta rush through so we can get to Remy's end. That's the one downside of playing a game like this, I feel. If you want to get all the endings like we're trying to do right now, you gotta rush through the dialogue that you've already been through so you can do the things that you've already done, so you can do new things so you can move forward. Alright, so... it's no problem, really. Okay, so Remy date 2. There is something very specific we have to do. Okay, so Diane's date without her status in bad or abandoned. Follow Vara isn't something... oh wait, I'm a little too far down. Okay, so now to look around. Oh wait, never mind. Went to the bathroom. Now, okay, so another thing we need to do for Remy's ending specifically is we need to look through his pictures 3 times. Look at the pictures. I picked up one of the frame photos to examine it more closely. It was a red dragon. I guessed that it was a female of a young adult or college age, though I wasn't sure, as it was hard to tell without looking at the obvious signs. Her crimson-scaled head was adorned with frills that ran down the back of her neck. She wasn't familiar to me. The second picture showed Remy in his typical attire, tie, glasses and all. The last of the 3 pictures was another red dragon, who, as far as I could tell, was a fairly young member of its species. It reminded me of a younger version of Remy, although without his typical accessories. You looked at Remy's pictures, creep. Fuck you too, game! Memories. The bathroom door opened and revealed the white dragon. As he approached, I felt my stomach grumble quietly. I barely heard the muffled sound, but when I saw Remy's ears perk, I realized he had more sensitive ears than I expected. Hungry already, I take it? I suppose so. Although your stomach already answered that question for you. After entering the kitchen once more, I saw the dragon looked over the kitchen partition. Again, his mouth opened a little, as though he were going to speak, but his brow scrunched with hesitation. Before I could say anything, he shook his head and continued to cook. Soon I heard the sizzling of frying meats, as the delicious smell of steak wafted into the room. Fueled by its fragrant odor, I slowly lost myself to daydreams as I closed my eyes. Something wrong? You're salivating. It's nothing. I was just thinking about something. Food. As you do. Well, the food is ready. Enjoy. I looked down and saw that a plate was already in front of me, piled with steak and vegetables. Remy was already eating, so I took the knife he had provided and cut off a small corner of my steak. Oh, I must have accidentally scrolled back up. Then I pierced it with the fork, its 3 prongs penetrating the flesh unrelentingly. Slowly I raised it to my mouth, and my tongue glided over the bare substance, briefly as it entered my lips. I took the first bite, a delicately crisp exterior, with a much softer, juicy inside. It melted on my tongue like butter, as the taste spread to even the remotest corner of my mouth. It was almost perfect. So, what were you thinking about? Huh? Remy's words snapped me back to reality. Said you were thinking about something. Do you live here by yourself? Recent murders? Why do you use a stove? Do you live here by yourself? Alright, I think we've already seen all of these topics, and I was really reading that just in case there was anything new, but does not look like it. Oh, mention the pictures! Really, I saw those pictures on the coffee table. I thought you might have a family. Oh no, that's in the past. I'm not even sure why those photos are still there. And I don't actually have children. The picture of the young dragon was the product of a silly little program that combined photos. They'd take images of 2 people and create what the pair's offspring would look like. Oh, I see. I've always wanted some children of my own, though. I see. How about you, Draco? Would you like to have children one day? Remy, the world is in such a shitty state that no. And also in this game, it's in such a shitty state that no. Probably. You know what? I'm not sure. Maybe things will improve. I don't fucking know. I'm not a person that can predict the future. I'm not sure. Why's that? I mean, if I'm being honest, maybe I'd want kids someday. If I was in a financially secure position, and I had a woman that I really loved, that we really hit it off and were able to form a relationship, maybe I'd want to have kids. But with the world being in the state that it's in at this moment, and no one doing anything about climate change, and the fact the economy's in the shitter, and the rich rule everything, I don't really want kids now because I don't want to subject them to the future that probably doesn't exist. But maybe it does. Maybe things will improve. Like I said, I don't predict the future. So let's try to keep ourselves out from that dark thought. I just don't know if it's a good time to bring a child into the world. I guess I'm not sure if I could be a good parent. Okay, that's a lot quicker. That's a lot quicker of what I said, yes. You should give yourself some credit. I often see parents that don't seem to be aware about the whole situation, as you are, and as a result have children they don't properly care for, Being conscious about it already makes you a better parent than them. Huh. Alright, now just for the sake of doing it, let's scroll through these to make sure I don't miss anything. Nothing in particular. And now we skip! Don't worry about it. I still think it was a nice evening. Maybe I should stop being such a sourpuss then. I can help you clean up. Thank you, Draco. We cleaned up together, and by the end, he seemed in higher spirits. Afterwards, we said our goodbyes and left, not sure what to think. Alright. Grief. Superstition. Chapter 3. The morning sun declared the arrival of a new day, and woke me from my vivid dreams. Memories of my home enclosed with the towering perimeter wall raced through my head. The peaceful landscape outside the apartment window stood in defiance of these old thoughts. Rolling hills and blue skies were familiar to me now, and the purity of the sight gave me hope. Draco, please come with me. What's going on? You sound serious. The chief will explain everything once we arrive. Okay. Alright. Again, I believe we've already been through this song and dance, so we're just gonna, you know. Sadly, Anna's dead. Because we didn't spend time with her, so yeah. Don't worry, Anna. I will save you in another timeline that isn't this one. I'm fine. Alright. Let's high speed through these. Yes, please. Thank you, system. I appreciate you. Alright, you did a thing. Achievement was unlocked. Wait, what? Utterly pointless. Ah, excellent. Good. I'm glad I got the utterly pointless achievement somehow. I don't know how I got that, but cool. Seriously, how the fuck did I get that? Alright, so. Now, also for Remy's ending, we need to go to the grocery store again because we're going to see Vara for the 3rd time. And then it'll let us do something new. Oh, it's her again. If you've mixed up the prescriptions again, then I can't help you. I can't refill this one. We're just about to close, so you'll have to bring the right one tomorrow. Hello, Draco. How can I help you? Actually, I'm about to close up here, so please make it quick. I'm here on behalf of the police. I was hoping you could answer a few questions. I see. Well, I don't mind as long as you make it quick. I have to leave for my other job soon. Vara, what are you still doing here? I already told you have to come back tomorrow. Here, have a lolly on the house. I guess she doesn't want it. What's the deal with her? I'm not sure what's up with her lately. This isn't the first time this has happened. One time, the doctor forgets to issue a new prescription. Another time, she brings me an expired one instead of the new one. She isn't exactly the brightest, but this is unusual even for her. So, what did you want to know? I will follow Vara. Actually, excuse me, sorry, but we'll have to do this another time. If you say so. Luckily, she hadn't gone too far, so I followed her from a distance, like some kind of creepy person. Minutes passed as we walked through the streets, weaving through unfamiliar part of town. The young dragon looked small and lonely on the empty road. Before long, we passed the village border, yet she pressed on and stepped into the forest. I turned back once to gaze at the village on the far horizon, and in an instant, the dragon was gone. I rushed to the spot I'd seen her last and found the entrance to a cave on a hillside. When I peered inside, I saw Vara alongside a much larger orange dragon. The small dragon filled a bowl with a thick fluid and placed it in front of the others. Then, she placed her hand on the large dragon's chin. Gently, she lifted its huge muzzle and guided it toward the bowl. But when she released it, the dragon's head slumped and fell into the liquid. The bowl tumbled sideways and spilled its contents across the cave floor. Oh no. I realized then that other than what Vara had done, the orange dragon hadn't moved at all since I arrived. How did you even find out about this? I could tell something was wrong, so I followed her. I see. Well, good job, Draco. What's going to happen to her now? She'll be sent to the orphanage. The background check determined she had a father, but the two hadn't seen each other in years. Can't you locate him? We did. Ray's second victim, the maintenance guy. That was him. Oh, God. I see. How did it even get this far? I don't know, but we'll certainly look into it. Some just fall through the cracks of the system. Being out here on their own probably didn't help. Do many of your people live outside the town like this? Well, some do on principle. Others because they have no other choice. Houses and apartments can be expensive. Boy, don't I know it. And it's not unusual for us to use natural environments as our homes. Alright, I think we're done here for now. Don't forget to stop by the department later. I won't. Followed Vara. Well done, Draco! Stalker. Okay. Yeah, no, I made the same comparison earlier. Before deciding my next move, I returned to my apartment for a moment of rest. A small piece of paper had been slid under my door while I was gone. Ah, yes. Alright. Let's speed on through, because we've seen this on both sides. Call the police. Okay, what's next? Well, honestly, I could go anywhere at this point. Literally anywhere. Because it mentions Vara and following her. And we have to do the third investigation. Ask Remy what he wanted child during third date. Okay. So I guess I'll go to police archives. I don't think we've done the third date with Remy. Hey, old timer. Sorry I can't help you this time. I got shit to do. Nothing personal. It's just, I gotta go. My dude. Hatsuharu. I'm sorry. I'd help you if I wasn't in a rush to get here. Okay. Thank you kindly. Well, there's an achievement to play a prank. I'm gonna do a couple things here. Save. To. Yes. But like I said, there is an achievement to play a prank. And I could rummage through the trash and see if I find something, but I don't think I'm gonna find anything. But first, study the blueprint. You've already done this before. I think if I came here sooner, I could have gotten the base, but I have to do something else. Fuck it, let's play a prank. Oh wait, I should have read that. Hold on. Do. Play a prank. Okay, here we go. That should do it. I wasn't sure when Bryce was going to be in his office again, but when he returned, he would definitely notice this. You pranked Bryce. My condolences to him. Huh. Look at the time. I better wrap it up here. Whew, it's getting late. I had better head to the police station now. Do I have everything? Alright, let's see what Sebastian will say to this. Another thing I just want to check. Don't I have an inventory or something? Status? No, not status. Oh, one person's, like, not even in here. Oh, right, because at this point, Anna's dead. Anyway, with that depressing... Oh, hey, here's some of the stuff. What the... Oh, wait, no, these are achievements, aren't they? I've got the orb there, but I don't have the base, so there's nothing really I can do with that. That's for Lorem's ending. By the way. The orb and all that. There you are, Draco. Seems to me you've taken a liking to Bryce's chair. Maybe. I could get used to this. Don't tell Bryce, though. By the way, good job calling the police when you heard Reza. It's too bad he got away, but maybe a witness will come forward and we'll find what happened. Now, let's take a look at what you got for me. What you've learned about the map is fascinating, if not a little unsettling. While it's good to have confirmed its origin, to know that it came from your world is something else. Raises more questions than answers. How could something like a whole building end up in our world? It's a mystery that needs to be answered. You did great today, Draco. The police department is glad to have you on our side. You saved that little girl. As far as I'm concerned, nothing else you could have done would have mattered as much. Good job, Draco. I do what I can. I know, and your help is greatly appreciated, believe me. Especially since we're so short on staff right now. That'll be all for today. I'll contact you if we need anything. Of course. By the way, I found an Ixamen sphere in the park a while ago, and I was told to hand it over to you. Oh yes, these things are really expensive. I'm sure the owner would greatly appreciate it if they get it back. I dug into my pockets only to find the Ixamen sphere was still resting on the table in my apartment. Oh, looks like I don't have it on me. If it's registered, you only need to turn it on, and you should be able to find out who it belongs to. I already tried that, but I think it's out of battery. Maybe we could find you a charging base then. And it's not here. Womp womp. Because we've already done this. I have to do this sooner. Womp womp wah wah. Let's just speed on through, shall we? But hey, that's a thing for later. The next run we do. Free day. What should I do? Remy. Wait a minute. Well, this is just a bit awkward. What I said. What should we do, Remy? Remember that you said... fumble. Remember you said that you wanted fumble! I remember you said that you always wanted children. Yes. It's not exactly the same thing, but I heard that the orphanage is always looking for more volunteers. You could help take care of those children. Is that so? Yeah, the orphanage is notoriously understaffed. The children don't really have anyone else, so each volunteer is a godsend. Losing both parents at such a young age must be horrible. Can't even imagine what that must be like. You should talk to Adine about volunteering. She knows a lot more than I do. Adine? I don't want to talk to her. Why not? She used to be my friend. Well, she was more Amelia's friend than mine. Why can't you talk to her? I don't know. I don't want to face her. Whenever I see her, it's another reminder of what I lost. Besides, I don't think she wants to talk to me either. I think if you wanted to volunteer, she'd gladly accept the help. Besides, I saw that she tried to talk to you the other day. You saw that? I guess she did try to talk to me, but it was only because she wanted something. I don't think that's the only reason. Maybe she wanted to reconnect with you. She wanted to avoid you. She could have asked someone else at the library for help, but she chose you. I'm not sure about that. Maybe she actually feels the same way you do, and the map helped her muster up the courage to face you again. If you want to change something, Remy, you have to take action. What's the worst that could happen if you talk to her? I suppose you have a point. I'll think about it. Thank you, Draco. Getting all that off my chest really helped me a lot. No problem, Remy. Anything else on your mind? Well, there was the whole thing about Anna. Hey, you mentioned that last time. Are you still worried about what she was working on? Not as much, I guess. Whatever she's doing is over now, but who knows what went on in her lab. I imagine we'll hear about it once the police search it in her apartment. I guess there's not much use thinking about it, especially now that she's out of the picture. In the end, I can't help but feel a little sorry for her, too. With her condition, I imagine the Ministry's disapproval must have been a tough pill to swallow. What are you talking about? She had cancer. I see. That kind of diagnosis would drive some people crazy. Maybe that's what it did to her. Having to live with that knowledge must have been difficult. Remy paused and gave me an embarrassed smile. Quite a bit of time has passed since your arrival, and you've barely been able to speak. I've been talking a lot. Yes, let's skip. Can I ask you a question? Of course. Do you even like me? There must be a reason you've put up with me for this long. What are you talking about? Do you consider me a friend, or maybe more? I like you as a friend. You're a good egg, Remy. Yes, good egg. That makes me really happy to hear. I haven't had a friend in a very long time. I think I should get going now. Thanks for hearing me out, Draco. Likewise. Looks like I have some free time today. I mean, I might as well meet with Adine and give her the dang blueprints I grabbed just to be safe. Let's see. Well, according to that thing I just did with Remy, that's the last thing I need to get this good ending. So let's just meet with Adine to, you know, give her the blueprints. Just to be safe. Okay. Remy did? What are you talking about? It was a joke. Oh, not a particularly good one. Anyways, it's me. Ah, yes, of course. I forgot what she was asking, so I just randomly selected one of them. Yes, I did. Let's skip. Alright. Let's get her all bandaged up and ready to go. Oh, wait, rewind. Can I ask you something? Sure, go right ahead. You went to visit Remy in the library the other day, right? How do you know about that? I was there, and Remy told me about everything. What do you mean, everything? Amelia. Oh. Why did he tell you all about all that? He's dealing with a lot of stuff, it seems. Well, he isn't the only one. I actually wanted to talk to him with him again. But if he doesn't respond, then I can't do anything either. I see. Guess I remind him too much of her. If he knew what I know, I'm not sure he would. I'm not sure what he would do. What's that? When she got sick, I often visited her. I just wanted to check up on her and take a little of the edge off. Considering what she was going through at work, the night she died, I was actually with her. I stayed with her until pretty late, but as I had to work the next day, I eventually left. It was late enough, and I told her to take it easy. She told me she was just going to finish one little thing before she got some much-needed sleep. Only after I left did she realize that she had run out of her medication, and went out alone to get a refill. If she just told me, or if I had paid more attention and noticed, I could have gotten it for her, and then none of this would have happened. That's not even the worst of it. When she died, she was pregnant. They'd already made so many plans, and I expected them to announce their engagement any day. Remy doesn't know she was pregnant. He doesn't, or at least I think he doesn't. They couldn't talk to each other much as they had to keep their relationship secret. It's not exactly something she wanted to mention in just a few sentences. If he knows, then it certainly wasn't from her telling him about it. I see. He doesn't know. Please don't tell him. All right. I know it must have been much harder for him than it was for me, but that doesn't mean I got it out of it unscathed. I lost my best friend. I blamed myself for a long time, too. I guess I still do. How could I face him, knowing that I could have averted this tragedy so easily? I think his own feelings aren't that different. How so? He also blames himself for not being with her when it happened. Because they had to keep their relationship secret. Yeah. I see. It must be horrible for him. I think he still hasn't gotten over it. Wish I could help him. I really do. What did you do after it all happened? For a while, I just felt guilty. But eventually I realized there are those who have it much worse than myself. I decided to take what I had experienced and turn it into something positive. That's when I started volunteering at the orphanage. Why just let tragedies be tragedies? I share the same sentiment. How so? I came here hoping that I could help humanity. Maybe you're not just helping humanity. Here, that should do it. How does it feel? Much better. Maybe with this I can even start practicing again in a day or two. Just be safe. Of course. Oh, I totally forgot I still have that copy of the map for her. Yes. By the way, I have something for you. And we've already seen this because I've given it to her before. So let's speed on through. Alright. Well, we did it. All the pieces are arranged. Loss. Passion. Intuition. Chapter 4. I awoke with my eyes fixed on the ceiling wallpaper. A sense of dread lingered from a nightmare I no longer remembered. How many more times would I see this apartment before I returned to my own world, or before something happened to me? I got ready for the day and tried to shake off those thoughts. Hey Draco. And Right on the minute you show up at this time every day, like clockwork. Clocks are reliable, and reliable is good in this line of work. I've got something for you. An envelope from the facility? Oh, these are the results from the test center run on my blood. She must have sent this before she was... No, it's no use thinking about that now. Maybe the test results will be able to help us. Let's see. Remarkable similarities in our genetic makeup, particularly the brain structure. Oh, I suppose this isn't the only reason you're here. Yeah, he's not a mailman. He's a police officer. The chief will explain everything once we get there. Let's not keep him waiting. Let's not keep him waiting, shall we? Alright, this is the, Oh, right! This is the hatchery. Let's skip. And then this is the raid. So we're just gonna zoom on through, because we've seen all this before. Alright. Now let's get on through this raid, because we've got a lot to do that's off... Well, not off screen. We've still got, I think, one more date with Remy that we actually haven't seen before. I'm curious to see if he and Adine patched things up. And then, of course, there's, you know, the fireworks date with Remy, because that's just what happens. Alright. There we go. I'm surprised you called me back so quickly. How's the investigation going? Well, the investigation is going swimmingly, but as you can expect, we need all the help we can get. As usual. With how this case has been going, we've realized we must employ external help. Oh? Yeah, we requested assistance from one of the cities. We hope they'll send some good investigators our way very soon. I see. We're so close today. He could have been in there, you know. Maybe we just came a few minutes too late. And if he knows how to make bombs from generators, who's to say he won't start using them elsewhere? At least he doesn't have any right now, does he? So all the generators that were stolen are now accounted for. True. Still, this whole case is growing too much for a small-town police department. I hope you get all the help you need. Me too. Right now, you can help us again. Well, what do you have for me? We searched the building, and we found more than the things Reza stole. We also found this bloody bandage. Do you think that's his? That's what we need to find out, but given all that we know, it probably is. So he's wounded. We know he was injured during the fight. Wait, we've already read through this. I don't know why I wonder. No, I can't scroll down. I was thinking like I could scroll down like it can scroll up, but that doesn't seem to be a thing. Alright, and this is him telling us about the festival. Alright. So, PDA to the library, visit the witness, bandages to the facility. I mean, at this point, I don't think it really matters. I think I'm just going to do the hatchery. The eggs in the hatchery. And we've already seen this guy's stuff, so I can just scan him through. We already got his good ending as a side character. Hello, Kevin. Don't mind me, Kevin. I'm just on my way to do something. Let me just speed on through your dialogue, Kevin. Sorry, Kevin. I'm gonna excuse myself. Here we are again. I'm gonna read this because I don't know if anything new popped up given the current events. Hey Draco, what are you doing here? Oh, I just came to drop these off. Drop what off? Stolen eggs. I figured the hatchery would want them back. Oh, I was actually going to get those from the police department later. I'm I'm so glad they got back safely. Emily, stop chewing my leg! It's tasty! Oh, well. Anyway, I was about to go inside, so I'll take those off your hands. Thanks for bringing them here. No problem. Adine, wait for me! Oh, good! Good job, Draco. Looks like you took my advice. Yeah, Adine and I had a good long talk, and now here we are. I'm glad we did. It was long overdue. Oh, hey, Vara. Vara, do you know who this is? She doesn't talk much. Yeah, I noticed. It's not unusual for someone who's had a rough life like her. She's definitely listening, though. Isn't that right? I think we should go inside. Yeah, probably. Well, see you some other time, Draco. Thanks for coming. Yes, that's why I went to the hatchery. I was hoping Remy would be there. I guess PDA to the library? Doesn't look like Remy's here. Quas. Excuse me. Can I help you? Do you know where the audio section is? I'm looking for some sheet music. Sorry, I have no idea. I don't work here. Don't worry about it. Staff all seem to be hiding somewhere. Anyway, have a good day. You too. Maybe Remy's somewhere in the back? Or in his office? Hello? You know, this section is usually for staff only. I'm just looking for Remy. I'm supposed to drop off this PDA. Well, he's not working today. Apparently, he has other engagements. Indeed, he does. I saw him just a few seconds ago. I don't know why I didn't think he would... I don't know why I thought he'd be here. If you need to find him, you can probably do so at his home. I can't just leave the PDA here? Oh, I am not going to take personal responsibility for this if it gets lost. If you want to drop it off, go find him. Okay? By the way, I hope you don't take it personally that I tried to send you away. To be honest, I'm glad that you're still here. Remember, I said I believed you when you told me your side of the story. I always have to do what's in the public's best interest. And now, they will not blame me if you have any connection with Reza. I hope you can understand that. Here's Remy's address in case you need it. Thank you. Oh, hello, Draco. What are you doing here? I just came by to give you this. I was already at the library, but Emma refused to let me drop it off there. I see. Hey, it's one of your PDAs! I told you one would find its way to me eventually. Yep, and now you can look at all the human knowledge you want. You have no idea how much I'm looking forward to that. I may not be working today, but I'm still going to check it out as soon as possible. I'm just gonna leave you to it then. Thanks. Enjoy. Thanks for all your help. I'll take care of the remaining tasks, so you can take the rest of the day off. I'm sure you have things to do other than helping the police department. It's no problem. It's no problem, really. My trip to your world wasn't supposed to be a vacation. Alright then, I'll see you next time. See you. After this faithful day, I was glad to finally have some sort of respite. I wandered into the kitchen as I considered tonight's dinner. Should I cook something or order out? When I returned to the living room, I suddenly found my strength leaving me as I collapsed to the floor. KO! Oh hey, it's that same cave from before. Hey, Izumi and/or myself. Because I don't know in this timeline which one you are. It seems there's nothing for me to do this morning. I guess they don't need me at the police department. Not that I mind. Let's hang with Remy. Oh, that must be him. Remy, what is that on your face? Are you wearing lipstick? You don't know what it is? Well, it looks like lipstick, but I didn't know that was a thing here. You're right, it is lipstick. It's not something that existed in this world before, though. How did you get some, then? I have one of your PDAs, remember? I studied a bit and came across this entry on lipstick. Based on the necessary ingredients, I realized I could make some myself, and so I did. Hey, Nub Nub. Yep. Timeline roulette. Currently, we're trying to get Remy's best ending. And so far, we're doing it. I just gotta get to the end. Did you do this to look pretty for me? I just figured you'd miss these kinds of things. Things that are normal for you. It hasn't really been It hasn't really been normal back home in quite a while. Lipstick isn't common these days. Didn't the entry specify it's typically used by females? Now that you mention it, I did get that impression, but I found the sentiment a bit puzzling. Why would a product like this only be used by one gender? I mean, technically men can wear lipstick too, it's just not really a thing that a lot do. I mean, goth people do it, cross-dressers do it. Really, it goes to whoever wants to do whatever. Personally, I don't give a fuck. You want to wear lipstick, wear lipstick. Well, I guess social norms dictate that certain traits are only desirable in one gender, thus highlighting them. This would increase the attractiveness. Oh, I think I get it now. It's all based on sexual dimorphism. The biological differences between the sexes are much greater in your species than it is in ours. So I suppose the traits you are looking for can be different too. Generally speaking, sexual dimorphism is much greater in mammals than it is in reptiles. While it can vary wildly by species, external indicators are pretty much always present, like memories, for example. An always present and often obvious reminder. This makes much more sense now. It's kind of embarrassing. Should I get rid of it? I mean, if you want to wear it, by all means wear it, but I don't know. Maybe you should just get rid of it if you're feeling uncomfortable. It seems like he's feeling a bit uncomfortable by the whole thing, so I'll say yes. Yes. Oh, well, I don't like that. I didn't want to say it doesn't look nice on him. Oh, sorry. Here, that should do it. Shall we go then? Actually, it seems pretty early. They're probably still setting up. I see. Well, we could just stay here in the meantime. Oh, for sure. I just realized I haven't actually been in here since I prepared the apartment for you. Have you read any of the books I've got you? Oh, so you're the one who stocked the bookshelf. They're all library books. I wanted to provide you with a good sample of what we have to offer. So there's fumble. So there should be something in there for anyone. Looks like you've read a few of the books in the Sheridan series. They're pretty interesting. Oh, really? I know they're not exactly highbrow, but they're entertaining. And what more do you want a book to be? I guess we all have our own tastes. Can I offer you some food or drink? I've barely used any of the stuff in the kitchen. Why not? I didn't want to touch anything that didn't at least resemble something I know. After all, I have no idea how to prepare them right, or even know if they're safe for me to eat. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to get you all those perishables then. I wanted to provide you with a bit of everything, considering I had to prepare the apartment for someone I didn't really know much about. Oh, some of them were good. It's interesting to taste the subtle, and sometimes not so subtle differences in the similar fruits we have back home. Did you throw anything out? Not really. Why do you ask? You've been here for nearly 2 weeks now. So, even some of them were safe for you to eat. They probably aren't anymore. Let me clean out your closet. We don't want to have any health hazards for you here, after all. Well, feel free. Just look at this! He showed me a juicy-looking, vaguely shaped, spherical fruit whose bright red color was unlike any of the other fruit I had ever seen. That's a very bright red. I don't think even our best apples can compare. Well, they're usually blue. Red means you're supposed to throw them away, as they've expired by then, and toxins might already have set in. Oh, well, I wasn't planning on eating that anyway. Or this one, it's all moldy. I don't see any mold. Do you see these spots? Sure, but if that's supposed to be mold, it doesn't look very different from the mold. It looks very different from the mold we have back home. I see. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to stock up on perishables. I didn't consider all the implications of doing something like this. Had you eaten the wrong thing, you could be in the hospital right now. Don't stress yourself out about it. Honestly, someone would have to be pretty reckless to just go ahead and start munching on things they didn't know about, or they don't know about. If anyone was smart enough to be sent here, they probably wouldn't take a risk like that. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Nevertheless, I better get rid of everything that's past its date. We really don't want the mold in the air either. If you say so. Obviously you don't want mold in the air. That's just how mold work. It doesn't even matter that it's on a different world, or technically in the past, I suppose. Mold is mold, and it's bad. Once more he dove into the closet. I heard him rummaging around as he checked the fruits and vegetables thoroughly. That should be everything. You know, honestly, I think it is a good thing he took off the lipstick now that I'm looking at him again. It doesn't really work with his complexion, I don't feel. Since he's pure white, the red was kind of, like, too drastic a contrast. Just something I was thinking about just now. Thanks. I bet the wine didn't go bad, though. Do you want some? Not really a big fan of wine. How come? I just can't enjoy it as... Excuse me, goodness. I just can't enjoy it as some others do, I suppose. I'm willing to try anything at least once, though. Anything? Well, at least as far as food and drinks are concerned. Hey, let's try some together, then. Well, if you want to. Sure. What kind of wine is this, anyway? I'm not sure, I just grabbed it when I got all the other stuff. Don't tell me you just went for the cheapest one. Of course not. Everyone knows that you don't just buy the cheapest stuff. You go for the second cheapest. Ah, of course. You go for the cheapest, it tastes awful. But the second cheapest? Oh, that's at least tolerable. Oh well. What kind of container should I get for you anyway? We're having wine, so let's go for wine glasses. The stem actually makes it possible for me to grip it with my vestigial thumb, so there shouldn't be any problems. Alright. I don't know, when I see vestigial, I just imagine like an even tinier version. I mean, I think that's the whole point of vestigial, but I also get the feeling like it shouldn't work properly if it's vestigial, but I mean, I guess it does in this case. Here you go. What shall we drink to? Interesting afternoon. A wonderful friendship. Too much? Ah. Certainly is. He knows how to... just knows how to roll the charm out. Alright, to a wonderful friendship. I took a sip from my wine glass. Remy really hadn't been kidding about getting the second cheapest bottle. Because that was exactly what it tasted like. Tasted like adequacy. Not bad, not great. It passes, I guess. How do you like it? Must be an acquired taste, I think. How about you? It's alright. It's okay, I mean, you can't really expect much from a cheap bottle of wine. I see. Just look at the time. I think we should start heading to the festival now. Sure, let's go. This is strange. Usually there'd be a crowd by now. Do you think they canceled it? With races still being out there, maybe they thought it wasn't a good idea to have a public spectacle like this? Cancel the summer festival? Inconceivable! Doesn't really look like a festival is going on right now, though. I don't know what's going on. Hey, I think I know this guy. Let's go ask him. Zong, that was his name. Hey, Draco, how can I help you? We were just planning to go to the festival, but it doesn't seem like there's much going on here yet. You came to the right place, but the festival is not starting for another hour at least. What? But the festival's always started at this time. You must have missed the memo then. They moved it by an hour. Something about the daylight making the fireworks more visible as a result. Well, that's a shame. I'm kind of getting hungry too. I can help you with that. What are you selling? What are you buying? Skewers, meatballs, all kinds of grilled things, really. Ooh. Well, I could go for some meatballs. How about you? Yeah, sure, I'll go for some meatballs. Heck yeah. No problem. Just let me pack this up for you. I guess this makes us your first customers of the day. What do I owe you? For you two, it's free. Wait, really? Heck yeah. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Have fun at the festival. Thanks. So, what do we do now? Should we go back? Well, we're already here and got all this stuff. Let's just sit down somewhere. Sure. We went off to the side as more dragons arrived and started setting up their various booths. How are the meatballs? They're actually pretty good. How about your stuff? Also meatballs. It's great. I'm surprised, honestly. You never know with stuff that comes out of food carts. I mean, I guess. I don't know. Festival food's usually really good, but maybe it's different if it's a cart. You're right. Maybe we got lucky. Plus it's Zong. Zong knows what he's doing. Maybe it's because it's still fresh. Who knows? What was that about fireworks, though? Is the big show coming up later? Oh no, the festival's just getting started, and there are fireworks every day. But the big show is what everyone wants to see. That one is happening a few days. It officially concludes the festivities rather. I see. A while later, the festival had kicked off and the crowds were already coming in. Dragons of all shapes and colors filled the paths, ready to see the sights the festival had to offer. Booths lined up. The up was not there. Booths lined both sides of the way. It reminded me a lot of a typical carnival setup, with booths being filled with shops, food stands, games, and much more. Guess that is how a festival works. Congratulations. Seems the festival's already started. Let's go! You know what? How about we just stay here? I really don't like crowds. I've seen the festival so many times already. I'd rather just stay here with you. I mean, I'd like to see the festival, but you know what? That's fair. We can just stay here if it makes you uncomfortable. Though you wanted to show me around, but I suppose we can just stay here if you'd prefer that. The main attraction is always the big fireworks show at the end of the festival. And that one is not going to happen today anyway. So why'd we need to come here in the first place then? Something wrong? I just had to realize that as nice as it is right now, you'll have to leave this world again eventually. I've been alone for such a long time now, I didn't even have a single friend. In my job, I always have to smile when serving the customers. How could I be surrounded by people all the time and yet feel so alone? All those people have their own lives, families, friends, and relationships. Yet I had none of that. In a world where everyone else seemed to be happy, I was the odd one out who had to pretend in order to belong. How could that not have eaten away at me day after day? Yet one day, I heard about the plans of a human coming here. Like many others, I was very excited at the prospect of our myths coming true. And then, The day came when Reza stepped through the portal, amidst the pomp and fanfare you could imagine. It was quite a sight to behold, really. You wouldn't believe how much joy I felt during that moment. Emra, of course, took all the limelight she could. First, there was a big speech in front of a huge crowd, then a procession after she had officially welcomed Reza. When it was time for you to arrive, and it was decided that it wouldn't be a public event this time due to security concerns. I knew Emra was going to be there if she wasn't able to make it. Wait. I knew that Emra wasn't going to be there if she wasn't able to make it all about herself. Ah, I see. I misread that the first time, so it seemed strange, but now I understand what he's saying. Emra's not going to be there if she can't make it about her. I begged her to let me do it, just to be able to get this close to a human at least once, to talk with them and see what they were like, to experience them. She told me that if I did a few favors for her, I could be the one to greet you. I knew that she wasn't going to be there anyway, but if I didn't do what she wanted, she would just send some other lackey instead. So I did everything she asked for. She did keep her word, though, and in the end, I was the one who would introduce you to this little world of ours. It might not have seemed like much to you, but with just the two of us and no one else being there, it was something very special for me. It was not just some public spectacle like the summer festival or Reza's arrival, but for the first time in so long, I felt like that moment was about you and me and no one else. For someone in my position, it just made me very happy to have such an extraordinary thing happen to me. Of course, I was very curious to see how much of our myths would line up with reality. And I was even more overjoyed when you visited me in the library. When you accepted my invitation and came into my home, I was just glad to have you there. It seemed like you wanted to be there and weren't just someone out to use me in some way. I began to feel hope. When I met you in the park, I think the only reason I could tell you everything about myself was because I knew you weren't going to leave again eventually. And now, after all of this, I can hardly believe you're still here with me. Why wouldn't I be here? You're just so nice to me. Yet even after the time I got to spend with you, it seems that soon I'll have to let you go again. At least I got to know you. And thanks to you, I was able to reconnect with Adine. Now it just seems so petty not to have spoken with her for such a long time. All those times when I felt alone and depressed, I really was only a phone call away from someone who still cared about me. But now that you have, this also means that your worst times are over. You're not alone anymore. That is true. To some people, it may not matter much if they have one friend more or less. But you know what makes the biggest difference? Having one you didn't used to. We even went to the orphanage together some time ago to help with the kids there. It seems one of them is taking quite a liking to me. That sounds lovely. Name is Vara, and I was there. Vara? I remember her. You know about her then? It's such a sad story. But enough about me. What will you do once you get back to your own world again? I'm not sure. I don't even know what will happen to me when I return. These last few days, a lot of things have happened that have changed my perspective on what I'm doing here. Reza and those who sent me. Is that a bad thing? I don't know yet. At the very least, though, I can say that I've done what I believed was right. And in the end, that's really all that matters. You should be careful with rhetoric like that. What do you mean? That kind of talk makes it very easy to justify any means when it serves the right cause. Whatever that may be, the more important thing is, have you done anything that you might regret? Those are true words of wisdom. No matter what you think, keep in mind that you may be held accountable for your actions by others or even yourself. Don't just do something because you think it's for the right reasons. Do it when you are aware of the possible consequences as well. You're right. I have no way of knowing what my actions here will amount to once I return. Do you really wish to go back to your own world? If I didn't, it would only serve to strain the relationship we've been trying to build with your people here, which is something that could be elementary for our survival. Besides, I didn't do it for those who reign over the city back home, or those who might have wanted to betray me. Let's not forget that even under the worst regimes, there are just normal people trying to survive too. If I have the power to make a difference for them, wouldn't it be right for me to just... Would it be right for me to just leave them be in order to seek my own happiness? That's exactly the kind of thing you were talking about, right? In the end, we all have to make our own decisions. If I leave them behind, then I leave them to people like Reza and those who sent me here. What would you want to do? Overthrow them? I don't even have the complete picture myself right now. How could I even consider what to do, given what I know? What I do know, though, is that if I don't do what they expect of me, there will be consequences. Maybe you'll just have to wait and see. It's not an option right now. Reza's still out there, armed and dangerous. He's got 2 arms, and also a gun. Don't you think that's a matter better left to our police force? It could be very dangerous for you to interfere. It's far too late to reconsider. I've already been tangled up in this too much. Besides, I can't stop now. Don't forget how many he's killed already. He won't hesitate to do so again in order to reach his goal. In the end, it's my duty to stop him. If I don't, how would your people look at humanity? How can I face you again, knowing that my negligence could cause suffering and loss for others here if I just stop now? I wish I could be as brave as you. Don't think bravery has anything to do with it. He must be stopped, one way or another. I know, just be careful, alright? I'll try. We've been here for a while now. How about I walk you back to your apartment? What about the festival? Well, if you still want to go, we could watch the big fireworks show together in a few days. That's an idea. Alright, let's do that. I watched Remy as he got up again, stretched himself in a way that reminded me of a cat, before we prepared to leave again. Oh, you're still here? How's business? As expected, people always get hungry at these events eventually. Can I offer you some more meatballs? No thanks, I'm quite full from my earlier helping. How about you, Draco? A tempting offer, but we were just about to call it a day. I see. Are you going to watch the big fireworks at the end of the festival? That's the plan. Be sure not to miss it. You haven't seen anything until you see the fireworks. That's what everyone keeps telling me. Because it's true. Anyway, we should probably get going. Have a good day then. You too. And here we are again. Oh wait, nope, that was me. And here we are again. Indeed. Did you want to clean out my bathroom cabinet as well or something? That's a good one. He gave a big sigh. You know how I feel. I guess I just wanted to make the most of this day. We're still going to see the fireworks together. That's true. You know, I'm very curious to see what your reaction to that will be. It's quite a sight to behold. People just keep saying that. Maybe you will too. We'll see. Thanks for the wonderful day, though. Likewise. Until we meet again. See you. And thus a beautiful end to a beautiful day. Another free day. Yay me. Sure, fuck it. Let's meet with Bryce, I guess. Once again, I found myself within the police department. It seemed oddly quiet for this time of day. It didn't take me long to spot Bryce in his office. Hey Draco, what's up? Nothing much, but you told me to contact you if I could remember anything that might help with the investigation. That's right. What do you have for me? Not sure if it's worth mentioning, but I have known Reza for a couple years, so I know some things about his personality. I see. Well, that's actually more helpful than you might think. Mannerisms, habits, all kinds of things would be useful to add to his profile and get a better idea of him. You know, I'm just about done here for the day, but if you want to discuss it over some beer or something, I'd be more than happy. Sure, let's go. Oh wait, yeah, this would technically be the first meeting with Bryce, wouldn't it? So I think, yeah, we've seen this, so let's skip. Alright, we're just gonna, skip through, because again, we've already seen this before. Here we are. Chapter 5. Hope. Grief. Chapter 5. After a night of turbulent dreams, my consciousness returned to the shores of the waking world. Today's the day of the big fireworks. Who shall I bring? Remy! That must be him. Are you ready to see the fireworks? My body is ready. All right, Reggie, calm down. All right, let's go. After a few minutes of walking, we arrived at a rather empty-looking area near the edge of town. Looks deserted to me. I thought everyone would be watching the fireworks. Was watching. They are, but they're doing it somewhere else. I don't really like the crowds, and I think you would appreciate me leading you here if you knew what... Fumble. I don't really like the crowds, and I think you would appreciate me leading you here if you knew what they were like. Yeah, I'm almost done. I still gotta get Lorum's ending, I've gotta get Anna's ending, and then the true ending. So we're close to done. But we're gonna finish Remy's up this time. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get into the other ones tonight. Depends on how long this goes, but I'm thinking this is gonna just be Remy. Better safe than sorry, at any rate. That's what I'm thinking. This reminds me a bit of the night I arrived here. Everything was dark and empty, and it was just us walking through the landscape. Yeah, you're right. So it began, so too shall it end. Oh, I think it's starting. Now watch. We were quiet as we waited, and the stillness of the night enveloped us. Soon, I heard the sounds of the first rocket making its way into the night sky, after which it exploded in a pattern of colors. Sebastian has a... He has a... Huh. Hold on. Let's see. I got Adine, Bryce, Lorum, Anna, Remy. I'm not seeing Sebastian in my walkthrough guides. Well, I say walkthrough guides, it's the wiki. I pulled up the wiki, it shows you how to get the main characters' endings. I don't see Sebastian in here. Huh. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to do more work then to get Sebastian's ending. More rockets followed, their thunderous noise echoing throughout the land. Suddenly, a terrible realization hit me. Considering how public an event this was, And how I was told multiple times that everyone would be watching the fireworks festival constantly. They never stopped. Everyone told me about the fireworks festival. Now would be the best time for Reza to do anything he planned to do. Not only was the village basically deserted, but the sounds of the fireworks would have also overshadowed any gunshots, giving him as much security as he would ever need. Oh, okay. Okay, it's one of the side character endings. Okay, if we're talking about the side character endings, then I've got a metric shitload to do, probably. I mean, we'll see when I get back to the main menu how many endings I have. As the portal has been repaired by the mysterious person I met, now was the perfect time for Reza to make his getaway, and I was the only one who knew it. Remy, I think we need to go, now. What's wrong, Draco? I know where Reza is, and we need to stop him. Shouldn't we call the police or something? We don't have the time! I'm not sure if I could fight him. You're right. If you're there, he probably won't hesitate to shoot. Maybe you can hold him off, and I'll try to get some help. Alright, let's do that. Go! I started running as Remy's voice called out to me. Where is he? Where should I go? The portal! He'll be there! Well, hopefully Sebastian's sub-ending is in one of the endings I need to get, because if not, I'm going to have to figure out how to get his sub-ending. I arrived at the portal with just a few minutes later. I couldn't help but be glad that it was still turned off. It didn't appear to have been used recently, but it meant Reza was still here somewhere. I looked around, thinking about where he could be, or if it was worth waiting for him here, when I saw something at the corner of my eye. Hesitating, I drew nearer. I checked Sebastian for any signs of life and found nothing. However, his body was still warm. Reza was here very recently, but he hadn't used the portal yet. Why? Sebastian's guard post was not just for the portal itself, but also the surrounding area. Since Reza was already here, he probably had some unfinished business very close by. The underground building. The administrator had told me about the prowess of the generators within. It probably hadn't been hard for Reza to guess the same, or to try stealing them from a place he knew would be even more deserted than the rest of the village was right now. He also didn't have to go far from the portal. All things considered, it was the only option that made sense to me. I could have waited for Reza here, but in the end, I decided it would be better to meet him underground. If there was going to be a confrontation, I was sure I would have the advantage in a more crowded space. Even in the darkness, it was easy for me to spot the site where they had unearthed the building's entry, as it was in a roped-off area that had been seen from afar before, that I had seen. Alright, we're going to plow through the dialogue between us and Reza, because again, we've seen it multiple times, so I'm sure there's going to be some variants, so I'll have to keep a close eye on that. My doors, you spot me. No. Want to talk. Different. Maybe resembling creatures, dinosaurs, blah, 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 prehistoric stuff. Don't have to be that abstract. Okay, so yes, this is a timeline where he's the one who murdered dragons. So it's not the one where Izumi did it. Changes a lot. It's lore important. Now, I really am going to have to figure out how to get Sebastian's ending now. Dang it. really taking generators. The ones I killed just died earlier than scheduled. Extinct. Yeah, we're still, again, I'm scanning just to be sure that I'm not missing anything that's different. Alright, so I guess I'll just get the endings that I have to get, and hopefully it'll pop up at some point. I'm going to touch on this again. I'm sure I've touched on this in other timelines, but time is really relative. Like, it's been 2 weeks while we've been here, but since we're traveling forward through time to get back to our world, technically speaking, we could just be traveling back to before we left. Meaning the amount of people that would have died in our time probably wouldn't have died. It would just be like a second in, second out for all we know. Although I could be wrong. Maybe time passes normally between the two timelines and we just go forward about a week from when we left. Or 2 weeks, I guess, in this instance. They don't really make it clear on that, do they? No, Razy, you don't understand. If they would let me go, because I was helping them catch you, you would probably be going to jail or something. I don't know what their plan with you is exactly, but you would definitely have to be punished. And here's Maverick, so this is a Maverick ending. Maybe I can. Suddenly, Maverick and Remy appeared next to me. You planned this, didn't you, Draco? Traitor! And to think I let you distract me with such a cheap trick, just because I thought there was still a shred of humanity within you. He pulled out his gun, not sure which one of us you should be aiming at. Just let me go, and I'll forget this thing ever happened. You've got 6 bullets for 3 people. Do you think you can really do that, Reza? Do you think this is worth risking your life for? I mean, he's got 2 shots at all of us. I mean, we can try and be dodgy, but a bullet travels fast. He's got the advantage. Now, if there were 7 of us, he would have much more difficult situation on his hands, because he wouldn't be able to take everyone. I've been risking my life for this every day for the last 2 weeks! What did you do during that time? Sip champagne in your nice apartment? No, it was cheap wine. Besides, this generator and the whole building came from our time. They belong to humanity! Suddenly, the administrator came out from the shadows in the hallway behind Reza. No, they belong to me! Again, not sure if that's Azumi or me in there, so I really didn't have a voice to do there. Confused, Reza spun around, aiming his gun at the newcomer who was slowly walking toward him. Who the fuck are you? Freeze! I said freeze! Want to waste your bullets on me? Feel free. You can't stop all of us. If you say so. Well, either me or Azumi is now dying. He pulled the trigger and the administrator fell to the ground with a dull thud that knocked her mask off. Okay, it's Azumi. We'll say there's a voice changer in the mask. Mortified by the display before me, I found myself unable to move as the events of the following seconds unfolded before my eyes. Reza was quick with his gun and shot Remy once before Maverick could charge him. Shit! Maverick pounced, snarling, and knocked Reza to the ground before embedding his teeth into the body before him. Despite his thrashing and screaming, Reza managed to find his target and pulled the trigger twice. Immediately, the jaws dislodged. Reza pulled himself a few feet away while Maverick's body convulsed uncontrollably. Did I get a bad ending because I just barely managed to fuck something up? But I feel like I got everything. Like, I hit all the moments in Remy's timeline, I thought. Holding his bleeding wound and breathing heavily, Reza looked at me. You're not going to help me, are you? Then it's futile. He raised his gun, aiming at me, while I regained my composure and tried to run. Oh, hang on. Sorry about that. Mucus buildup. It was gross and I didn't want it to record. A single gunshot resounded through the hallway, and as soon as I heard it, a sharp pain shot through my back. I fell to the ground immediately. He continued pulling the trigger, but no more bullets came. After a few seconds of silence, I slowly turned around. What? Reza was leaning against the wall, his head slumped forward lifelessly. And this is the good ending? Or I fucked up somewhere. Maverick and the administrator, both lying in a pool of their own blood, were not moving. I crawled over to Remy, who was glad to hear him breathing. He had been hit in the side, and I saw blood trickling from the wound onto the ground below him. He raised his head, looking at me with an expression of pain. You're wounded. So are you. We need to stop the bleeding. I put some pressure on his wound, momentarily halting the blood that was trickling down his body. Can you do this? Let me try. He felt around his side, trying to get the right grip before he applied pressure on his own. I let go, and after a bit of adjustment, Remy could stop the bleeding on his own for now. I took off my shirt and briefly considered whether I would be able to use it to dress Remy's wounds. But I soon realized it was no longer enough to wrap around him properly. Besides, he couldn't walk for now. It wouldn't make a difference anyway, and he'd have to stay here while he held his wound shut. Instead, I used the shirt to curb my own bleeding, folding it and wrapping it around my abdomen tightly. Look, Reza's gone. And that other person... Remy was right. Both Reza and the administrator were gone. You have to go. Go and stop Reza. I need to find you some help first. I can't just leave you like this. Don't you dare tell me you would be doing it... Fumble. Don't you dare tell me you would be doing me any favors by saving me. If it's just going to be one of us, I don't want it to be me. You don't know how it is to live every day as I have. Always wondering if the pain will ever stop, or if things will ever change again. And when they finally do, you come along and tell me this? Don't do that to me. I'm not going through this again. What do you want me to do? This is bigger than us. Bigger than me. Just go. Go and stop Reza. Alright. Again, and this is the good ending? I hobbled to my feet and made my way back outside. In the distance, near the portal, I saw Reza and something that was standing between them. As I drew near, I recognized it as Vara, who was growling at him. Reza aimed a kick at her. Reza aimed a kick at her, only to lose his balance and fall when she bit and held on to his shin. After he fought her off with a few kicks, his hand dove into his pocket to grab a few bullets, which he had proceeded to load into his revolver. Oh, fuck no. I went as fast as I could, but with my injuries, I had no chance to stop him as he aimed at Vara. Holy shit, he killed an orphan! Slowly, as he got up again and walked over to the portal's controls, where the administrator suddenly appeared behind him. Wait, what? Immediately, she was on him, throwing him to the ground before starting to pound his head with her fists. Together, they rolled down the slope of the small hill which the portal stood. When they came to a halt, the fight resumed. There was a flurry of fists, and suddenly I heard the distinct sound of a gunshot, after which the administrator slumped and fell. So now she's really dead. Eventually I arrived, only to be able to confirm that both of them were dead. Oh. I went up to the portal and examined Vara for any signs of life. I found none. When I looked up again, I saw Remy looking at me with a pained expression. I stepped away, giving him some space, as he stepped up to the small corpse. How is this the good ending? Were you looking for me? Did you sneak out again? Poor girl. He enveloped her as his tears started raining down on the small body. Soon more help arrived. Remy and I got all the medical attention we needed. Besides those we already knew to be dead. It was also too late for Maverick. I warned them about the comet, telling them to check the PDAs I had given them for a verification of my claims. A few minutes later, EMTs arrived, and I was put into an artificial coma due to my injuries. In the weeks I was out, a variety of things happened. After everything that had taken place, negotiations were fierce between humanity and the dragons. Out of respect, Reza's body was returned to humanity through the portal. While his actions had shattered all goodwill on the dragon's side, Reza's wounds did their job to do the same for humanity. I too was returned to humanity. But as my condition didn't allow it, humanity took the dragon's refusal to transfer me as a sign they were keeping me as a hostage. I wasn't a priority for humanity, though a fact I was aware of well before I ever arrived in this world. As far as they were concerned, Reza and I had our chance, and the results weren't pretty. Ultimately, the dragons decided to return the PDAs before all contact was cut. Luckily, my claims were taken seriously, and there was already a plan in place to divert the comet. While they would have to use the lab's generator to do so, humanity decided to use their portal's power source to support their slowly failing city for a while longer as they looked for other, more long-term solutions. After I awoke from my coma, I had to consider my options. While the dragons were able to create a new power source for the portal, I wouldn't have known how to send myself back to humanity, as their portal was already deactivated. At least not without the expertise of the dead administrator. The only coordinates remaining in the portal were those she had left as a last resort. It turned out they were to send someone back in time to the day I had arrived here. As soon as I could, I met with Remy, who told me about everything I had missed. So the comet has been diverted, and you've replaced the power source for the portal. I guess I must have been gone for a long time. A few weeks, yes. What will you do now? I could use the portal to return to the day of my arrival. After all, I came here to save our dying city, which is something I failed to do. But you saved us. That is true, but I can't help thinking that there could have been a diplomatic solution. If I just hadn't been in a coma during the negotiations. Whatever you want to do now, you can be sure that you'll have the Council's support. You could just stay here if you wanted to. I bet you wouldn't mind that, would you? You know how I am. Humans just fascinate me. This isn't just about me, though. Of course, I would love it if you stayed with us, but I know there are many other factors at play here, and that wouldn't be an easy decision for you to make. Don't let me stop you from going back if that's what you want to do, though. I'll be fine. Are you sure about that? I mean, yeah, I'm gonna turn back time. Of course he'll be fine. Well, I mean, he'll be reset back to 0, which means he's gonna be depressed again, but, you know, we'll work on it in another timeline where everything works out great. But I'm sure it'll work out fine in the end. Yes, after all, I'm not alone anymore. In the last few weeks, I spent a lot of time with Adine, and I'd say we're pretty good friends now. As sad as it is what happened with Vara, there's another girl at the orphanage we've been taking care of pretty often. Maybe you've seen her. Her name is Amelie, and she's just the sweetest little girl. Besides, if you really end up going back in time, I'll see you again. True. And also, Vara will be alive. Man, for a good ending, that was pretty fucking depressing. Everyone is dead. A little girl dies. I mean, at least Remy is alive. And I am at the end, so I can go back in time. That's pretty good. Yay! We did it? Okay, so let's see. How are we doing on time? It's almost been 2 hours. And usually I just make these shorter than like with the Yakuza streams. Welcome to the first chronological. Yeah, okay, so this would technically have been the first ending. Had I done this in the right order. But like you said, it doesn't really matter which way you do it. I forget which one I got first, honestly. I mean, it's been so long, and I've gotten so many of the other endings that I don't remember the order I did it in. I would have to go back through the playlist and see which ones I did first. Pretty sure... Well, I mean, I've gotten the bad endings first. I believe Anna's bad ending was my very first ending. Or was it Adine? No, Adine's bad ending, I think, was my first one. Oh yeah, that's a good point, too. Huh. You've seen Remy's good ending, Casualties of War. Woo! There are almost no plot holes in the entire... Ah! Alright, so yeah, these are all the endings I have gotten so far. There's still a bunch of side ones that I haven't gotten, I'm guessing. I just noticed the gun that's sitting on the hill over there. So that's neat. Alright, so who is our next ending then? I think I'm going to go for Lorum's ending next. And then after him, I'll go for Anna. And I think we'll have gotten the entire main cast at that point. Yeah. But, with that, I think we're going to end this episode here. Like I said, in the next one we're going for Lorum. See you guys then.